All right. Well, in honor of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month this November, we highlight the challenges men face and the power of community support. Kevin Barnett and Adam Weaver are members of CoolxDad, an organization that uplifts fathers and breaks negative stereotypes. Okay, when I say cool dads, take a look at these shoes right here because they're cool in a number of ways. Okay, CoolxDad's Turkey Trot will take place, and these feet will be taking that. Yeah, Turkey Trot will take place on Thanksgiving Day at 8 a.m. Central Time in downtown. We'll get to that in just a minute, but you won't be trotting in those shoes, will you?
No.
Yeah, no. Get your comfy shoes out. All right, Kevin, you were born in Houston. You grew up with a single mom. What was the impact of not having your biological father in the home?
I mean, you know, honestly, that was something that I didn't realize was so
especially at the time, all you know is all you know, right?
All I knew is what I knew. But as a father now, and growing up, I realized that, you know, I needed that that other presence in the household, right? I needed to have someone to kind of tap into my feelings, right? You know, and my mom did a great job raising two kids on her own.
She was mom and dad, and she handled, you know, the burden of a lot of things. You had kidney cancer as a child, and they told you the treatment you needed was going to be on the East Coast, so you had to pick up and move to the East Coast.
Had to go. Yeah. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the Texas Children. I'm thankful for my mom to just get up and say, you know what, we gotta find a solution for my boy. Yeah. And I'm here today.
Yeah. And so there are lots of households, as we know, especially in the African American community, and that impact came from all kinds of other things that happened, but where they don't have a father in the home, but that's why it's so important to also have father figures. You had that. You had father figures growing up.
Yeah, I had father figures. I had community. Right, and I think that's the beauty about CoolxDad, right? You know, we're not just fathers that are trying to just do good for our own. All right, we're trying to ensure that no one goes alone in this journey in fatherhood.
It takes a village, and we're going to talk about how some of those things that you all do and the stereotypes in just a minute. But Adam, you had your first child in 2020. You said you have no idea what you were doing. Can I just tell you this right now? No one has any idea what they're doing when they have their first child. You're like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Right? It's a difficult job, right? And it doesn't come with an instruction manual, and all we can do is sort of take from our fathers, whether the good things or the bad things. So we come from it with that experience, and what we're trying to do is create a community for fathers to get together and say, this is what my dad did well, this is something my dad didn't do well, let's all try to work together and create that space for new dads.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, there's all kinds of mommy groups that we have, and you know, we find community in the whole bit, but you had a friend that was also a parent for the first time, and you all started talking, and so you realized the beauty and the power of not just fathers talking to other mothers, but fathers talking to fathers.
That's right, and then that's how I got connected with Kevin and CoolxDad. And you know, while the goal is to destigmatize black and brown fathers, obviously I'm not a black or brown dad, and I talked with Kevin about that. I said, is there a space for me?
I don't see your DNA test, you never know what's up in there.
That's fair. But I said, you know, is there a space for me? And what he told me and really stuck with me is the branding is CoolxDad. Yeah. And the X is the variable. You don't have to be black or brown, you don't even have to be a biological dad. You could be a single mom, you could be a grandma, anyone that's playing that father role. We have the resources, we have a community to help you out.
Yeah, wow, okay, let's talk about some of those stereotypes, because I think sometimes men just don't know what to do because of in society how we've kind of given you this role, right? Yeah. Where, you know, you're not supposed to be nurturing, you're supposed to be just the breadwinner, right? Yeah. And so you stand on the sidelines waiting for instruction, and you never get that instruction. It's not that a lot of men don't want to be good dads, they might not know how to be, because you know, Ward and June Cleaver, that's not the setup necessarily that we have in many homes today.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. Society has coined us, you know, head of household, when that's not truly the situation, right? And I think more men need to be more vulnerable, and I think that starts with seeing other men vulnerable, sharing their experiences. I am fortunate to have a beautiful and strong woman and my wife, who is the head of household, right? And she's the breadwinner, but she sees me, and she sees me as her partner, and that allows us to have healthy conversation. And it's also something that's really well for our children to see, right? To see, like, it's not this storytelling, figment of imagination. Like, this is what it really looks like inside of a household.
And things have changed today. You know, as I was having this conversation with my son, is that, there used to be a time when a lot of women literally left their daddy's house and went into their husband's house, and you served as the mother and the wife and the whole bit. We have equal opportunities today for employment. So you're right, who the breadwinner might be may look different today, and that's okay. But we have to break free from that. When I mentioned stereotypes earlier, so the stereotype for a lot of brown and black men are that you're not a good dad, just automatically not a good dad. You're out there, you're fighting a big stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, again, black and brown fathers, the stereotype says that we're not engaged, we don't want to be there, I combat all that. I love doing drop-off pickup. Today is Wednesday, I got swim practice, right? I got to be home at 3 o'clock to pick up my son to take him to swim. That's what it really looks like, and I think that's the space what CoolxDad created.
And Adam, you grew up in a single-parent home as well. So what do you know now that you missed from not having that biological father in the home, and how has that impacted how you see fatherhood and what you're doing differently?
So he was around and he participated, but some of his mistakes is what led us to be a single family home. So it's kind to learn from those and not make the same mistakes. And to Kevin's point, my wife has a strong legal career and a strong legal practice. So it's not only how do we do the traditional norms, but it's how do we adjust for the new norms, right? So he and I talk, like, how are you supporting your wife in what she's doing and her new venture and all of this? So it's creating that space to compare notes, and really, like you said, nobody knows what they're doing in fatherhood. So it's really just coming together and helping each other out.
Yeah. And then how do you battle those stereotypes? So it's like, okay, your wife does this, and what do you do? And what do you do?
Right. I mean, listen, we in our space, we want to encourage our fathers to really stand in their truth, right? And that's what the space was designed for. And so for me, I'm always just trying to encourage people just to say, hey, look, your pathway is how you take it, and how can we take you into a new direction to share that to the next father that needs to hear it.
Yeah, because my mom has always been a strong woman and strong career woman with my dad, and they were, they came up in a whole different time, but I saw how my mom was, and that's how I am. But still, in many households, there seems to be that competition between what the man does and the woman does, and the stereotypes. And so how do you suggest to people who go into a marriage thinking, I need to be here while you're here? How do you make sure you verbalize that and make sure that's not a problem? Because I see it among several of my friends. They're in competition with careers. They're in competition who makes more. That still exists.
Yeah, I think it comes from a traditional norm that we've just had in society. So I think talking about it with you and talking about it with other folks, letting people know, like, that's not the new modern relationship, right? It's equal partnership. It's supporting each other. It's creating opportunities for your partner to excel, and that means
for the
you
family.
Do more of the domestic duties. Right. It's a different relationship, a different partnership, but one I think is better for everyone.
Yeah. I have a friend who did that. She did not want children. He did, and he finally said, because she had a really strong career, and so did he. He said, "What if I stay home?" And she said, okay, we can do that. And I remember he called her one day, he goes, there's, 2 boxes in the laundry room. Which one washes, which one dries? Right? She's like, I'm going to walk you through it. You're an engineer, honey. Let me walk you through it. All right, the turkey trot.
Coming up, Thanksgiving morning. It's the biggest run of the city, right? And we're thankful to be hosting it this year. Thanksgiving morning in partnership with St. Arnold's.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, you're going to get some dads now. CoolxDad's Turkey Trot is taking place on Thanksgiving Day at 8 a.m. Central Time in downtown Houston. Registration is now open, and they look forward to seeing you there. To learn more or to sign up, visit greatdayhouston.com, and we'll connect you